Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, it ended out of nowhere. I get emails from guys all the time that are just flabbergasted. They think everything's going along great in their relationship, and all of a sudden it's going along so well that they get dumped by their girl, and they're going, what the fuck? Got an email here from a viewer, and he said, I have a 4-month relationship with a self-admitted insecure girl. Everything was perfect, at least according to you. It ended out of nowhere a few weeks ago with no explanation. She still calls me and begs me to stay as her friend. After my recent attempts at manipulating her backfired, she went running into her ex's arms. He says, I don't need dating advice. I need advice on getting this girl back. Well, I'd say, that's part of your problem, is you're like, I don't need dating advice. Well, if you had been a good dater, she wouldn't have dumped you in the first place. So there's something fucked up in how you're in your dating skills and how you're approaching it, because obviously that's what happened. If things weren't so good that she was having such an awesome time with you that she had to break up with you. So he says, she made me so happy when things were right. And then he said, before our busy schedules took over and we grew apart. Not used to feeling like this about a girl. Yeah, that's what happens when you get dumped like that. And just from the fact that you're telling me that your schedules took over and you let things get in the way, that tells me that either you or her at that point stopped putting your best foot forward in the relationship. In other words, once you realized you had her or she had you or the other person or her were doing things that they didn't like and turning the other person off. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really, really like somebody and they really, really, really like you, you're both going to make time to see each other. You're not going to let your busy schedules get in the way. And I see this a lot, is a guy will get a girl and he'll think she's the best thing since sliced bread, and then after a few months go by, the infatuation wears off. Then they realize she's great and everything, but it's not a big deal. You realize that, wow, women contribute to your happiness, but they won't make you happy. In other words, if you go to a relationship and you're unhappy before you even get into a relationship, and you think or you hope that person is, if you get them, is going to make you happy, they will at first. But after a few months, 2 or 3 months, maybe 6 months, once the infatuation wears off, you're still left with the fact that you're unhappy, you're not enjoying your life, and you're not a happy person, and you realize this other person can't give you what you feel is lacking, which is the happiness that you seek. And that's the way I used to be when I was younger. Because I had everything in my life. I just needed to get the girl thing handled. And once I got a girl that I fell in love with and who fell in love with me, after the infatuation wore off, I realized I still wasn't happy. And so obviously something was going on here in your relationship that for whatever reason, and you have to, because I do this a lot of guys come in and, I want to help, I want to get my girl back, and when I start talking to them about what things were like the last couple of months before the relationship ended, they all say the same thing. You could tell that they weren't really putting their best foot forward in the relationship anymore. Maybe they got bored, or maybe they just weren't into her or whatever, and then all of a sudden, they are aware of the fact that they're not really putting their best foot forward, and they're not really into this girl. Maybe they start being a jackass to her, or blowing her off, or treating her harshly, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, she dumps them. And then they're sending me emails going, oh, this is the love of my life. I got to get this girl back. She's the most amazing thing. I was so stupid. I fucked up, blah, blah, blah. You hear all that kind of crap. Then I help the dude get the girl back. And then a month or two later, he's right at the same place. And then he ends up breaking up with her anyways. Because at the end of the day, whatever, and you got to look at this. You got to look at this very carefully. Whatever turned you off about her, it's still there. It didn't go away. It's just that now, since you were the one that got dumped, now you think you're in love and you got to get this girl back, and she's 1,000 times more important to you than she was when you were actually with her. And it's just that fear of loss, and it's a blow to your ego because, at some level you have to know that things were not going so great, but it's obvious. Like I said, your busy schedules took over and you grew apart. It's just you didn't have the same level of internal enthusiasm that you once had for your girl. And how do I know that? Just from your comments in here. So what I would do if I were you, and I know you think you don't need to learn dating skills and they're not important, you just want a strategy to get your girl back. What you need to learn is you need to learn to understand women completely. You need to learn to understand the pickup phase, you need to learn to understand the dating phase, and you need to learn to understand the relationship phase, because they're all important. And so I would encourage you to download and read a Kindle version of my ebook. Go to my website now, and underneath the email sign-up box on the right-hand side is a box that has a link that will take you right to the download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side of the download page is a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, tablet, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install it and complete the purchase of my book. And so that'll be the first starting point. And the other thing is that you said here that she's run into her ex's arms. Well, obviously she was with him for some period of time before you. Maybe they were still talking. And what happens in a lot of cases is when a woman knows that her relationship is starting to go south or go sideways and it's not going to work out, they start calling the ex-boyfriends or all the guys that they know who tried to date them but who she put in friend zone, but she still keeps in touch with them. Because when things like this happen, like a breakup happens, she calls the exes, she calls all the guy friends that she knows and starts spending time with them. Because women are just better at moving on from relationships than guys are. They're just simply more prepared, and so they have a backup plan. And that's obviously what it sounds like has been going on here with her ex. But at the end of the day, 97% of guys out there don't know what they're fucking doing. And so, I mean, there's a reason that this dude is her ex, just like there's a reason why you are her ex. And so more than likely, after a few months, they'll probably end up breaking up. And, she's already calling you and texting you, and so your question is, what should I do, Corey? Well, you should act as if it's not a big deal. And so when she calls and she texts you and she says, I just want to be friends, just say, hey, I'm not interested in just being your friend. We can be friends with benefits. We can have an open relationship. But I'm not interested in just being your male girlfriend or your buddy that you call when you need moral support. And she says, well, I'm kind of with my ex now. We've been spending time. You just say, I don't care about him. He can keep you busy when you're not with me. Why don't you grab a bottle of wine and come over to my house this week and we'll make dinner together? And she'll either make plans or she won't. And if she won't make definite plans, then just say, hey, give me a call when you change your mind. I got to run. Keep in touch. And every time she calls and texts you, you try to arrange a date for her to come over to your house, make dinner together, tell her to bring a bottle of wine, and then you just hook up with her and seduce her when she comes on over. And if she won't make plans with you, then just say, hey, talk for a couple minutes. Just say, hey, it was great hearing from you. Give me a call if you change your mind. I got to run. I'm all jammed up. I'm busy. In the meantime, you get busy applying the stuff that I teach with some other women. And plus, I encourage you to go through the exercise on how to attract the perfect woman, which is in my book. And I also did an article a while back on my website along with a video. So if you just Google Corey Wayne, how to attract the perfect woman, and do that exercise. In the meantime, the idea is to help you either get her back or to get somebody better, because there's no guarantee that she's going to break up with the other dude that she's dating at this point. But you have to stick to your guns. You have to stand up for yourself and say, I'm not interested in this, and this is what I want. And it's like you got a one-track mind, and you just stick to it. And that's all you have to do. And one or two things will happen. She'll either agree to make definite plans with you and come on over and you make dinner together and have a great time and seduce her like always, because the whole purpose of a date is just simply a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen. That's all it is, dude, and you don't need to complicate it any more than that. Don't worry about the other guy or the other dudes that she's dating, because it's not important. You just want to hang out and hook up and have a good time with her like you did in the past, but you want to keep your options open, because if you're just sitting around waiting on this one particular girl, that's going to put you in a scarcity and poverty mindset, and it's going to make it 1,000 times more difficult for you to do the right things and to say the right things when she does call and when she does reach out to you. But at this point, you should not be contacting her at all. Why? Because she dumped you. You don't try to keep a woman who doesn't want to keep you. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters and the articles on my website and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website and on the Wibbia toolbar, which will be at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.